What does it mean to you to rest? And what do you feel inside when I invite you to rest? Welcome. I'm Paula Strupeck Gardner, and I'd like to share some of my experiences with you to help you rethink what rest is and what it could be for you and how you could invite more rest into your everyday life. I was raised to believe, like so many people were, certain things about rest. Number one, rest happens when you sleep. Number two, you have to earn rest. Number three, there's no rest for the wicked. And if you rest before you've earned it, you're wicked. 4, rest only happens when you have prolonged periods of quiet. It's no wonder that so many of us feel so exhausted and depleted, and it's no wonder that so many of us feel guilty even thinking about rest. We were given a lot of misinformation along the way. So let's start with sleep. Sleep is not necessarily restful. Sleep is when the body, mind, spirit is digesting everything we ate, experienced, heard, read, saw throughout our day. Sleep is when the organism nourishes itself, organizes itself from the inside out so that we can be healthy. It can be restful, but there's more to rest than sleep. And what about this earning rest? Where did that come from? Maybe it's related to the third thing, which is there's no rest for the wicked, which may be related to John Calvin, who in the 1500s declared that all humans are depraved. We're vile, we're cruel, we're perverted, we're corrupt, we're vicious. According to Mr. Calvin, no human deserved anything, much less rest. And of course, throughout the world, slaves couldn't even earn rest. It had to be awarded to them. How many times have you felt this ping of guilt at wanting rest? My guess is often. I know I do. When was the last time that you sat down before you took the dog for a walk, before you started dinner? My guess is maybe never. And I say that because even today, 25 years after I became obsessed with and started advocating for rest and ease and softness in as many ways as we could create and find them, I still find myself fighting myself over whether or not I should finish my article or put my feet up for 5 minutes. Everything and anything comes before rest. I mentioned my obsession, and how I started was I was injured and I committed to the only kind of yoga I could do, which was restorative. And restorative yoga is where you lie on the ground and you're supported by blankets and pillows. It's a totally delicious thing, but it was really hard for me for most of the beginning. At the end of that year, I discovered that I could do so much more than when I started. I was healed and I was hooked. But finding and making 45 minutes to an hour of time every day for a restorative practice is not easy for anybody. So I began looking for ways to rest. Little tiny ways that didn't require 45 minutes of lying down or maybe even any lying down. So I asked my sons, who at the time were in their 20s, and this is what they said about what rest meant to them. Going for a walk in the woods, closing my eyes, while I'm parked and waiting for you, Mom. Dancing in the kitchen while I'm cooking, sitting with a cup of tea. These are my sons telling me this stuff. Going for a bike ride, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, taking a really deep breath and really, really, really exhaling. Rest doesn't have to be long. Rest doesn't even have to be sitting down. You don't have to be quiet to feel rest. To be clear, I really do believe in the power of a regular restorative practice. That long period of lying down, supported by blankets and pillows, strengthens and increases our capacity to create and find and experience rest in the littlest moments of our life. They feed each other. So here's a very short version of what is becoming a very long list of ways to experience rest in your daily life. Rest comes into the body, mind, spirit when you release the death grip that you have as you're holding the steering wheel, a coffee cup, a pen. Rest comes into the body, mind, spirit when you face the faucet or the fridge directly as you're filling a glass of water for yourself instead of trying to do something else at the same time. Rest comes when we look at our list of things to do and we pause to breathe in and breathe out, because it makes some space for us to be able to think more clearly. Rest happens when we bury our face in the fur of our beloved dog or cat and we breathe. It works well with kids too. And rest happens in the middle of the night when you wake up and you can't go back to sleep and you're fighting to go back to sleep. When we simply pause and we breathe and we open the door to rest by saying, let sleep come, let rest come. Reframing rest means that we take a much longer and wider and deeper view of what rest could mean to us. It means shifting our words. It means shifting how we do things. It doesn't necessarily mean adding on to your to-do list. Reframing rest has implications for every aspect of your life. Think of how you feel so different, so alive, when you do feel well rested. You're more creative, you're more generous, you're kinder to others as well as to yourself. You're more generous, you feel less guarded, you feel more trusting, you feel more at ease in your life. So, let's pause for a moment and breathe together. I invite you to breathe all the way in and pause. And now breathe all the way out. And when you think you've breathed all the way out, breathe out some more and pause. And now just breathe. Breathe your breath. This moment of softness has been brought to you by me, Paula Gardner, and I look forward to being able to do some sort of restful practice with you online or in person. Best thing is, come on retreat with me and rest. Many blessings of all kinds to you from me, Paula Gardner.